Hello everyone, my name is Liam Smith, and today we've gathered 3 bone-chilling, hair-raising, and absolutely true scary stories that will send shivers down your spine. If you're brave enough, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss a terrifying tale. Without further ado, let's dive into these real-life horrors. Story number 1. In the humid heart of Florida, a place known for its swamps and eerie beauty, there existed a small, forgotten town called Willowbrook. It was a place where time seemed to have stopped and legends whispered in the rustling leaves of ancient oaks. The town had one resident, James William Smith, a man of solitude who had spent his entire life in Willowbrook. People claimed he was cursed, though the truth was far more chilling. James William Smith was a peculiar man with a story that was more eerie than the dense fog that often settled over Willowbrook. His appearance was enough to send shivers down the spine of anyone who dared to look him in the eye. He had coal-black hair that hung like tendrils of a shadow, and his eyes were a pale, milky white, as if he had seen horrors no one else could fathom. Legend had it that James was born on the unluckiest night of the century, a stormy night when the moon was hidden behind a thick blanket of clouds and the wind howled like a pack of vengeful spirits. That night, his mother, a reclusive woman, had disappeared without a trace, leaving behind a baby boy who had been marked by the curse of Willowbrook. As he grew, James's life took a sinister turn. The townsfolk claimed that he had a connection to the supernatural, as strange things seemed to happen in his presence. Trees whispered secrets, and shadows danced to an unknown tune. James was always on the outskirts of society, neither friend nor foe. He lived in a dilapidated house on the edge of the swamp, with a rickety wooden porch and windows that stared out like vacant eyes. In Willowbrook, the air was thick with tales of the supernatural. Residents spoke of ghostly apparitions and haunting melodies that echoed through the swamp at night. They warned their children never to wander near James's house, for fear that they might be drawn into the cursed web that surrounded him. One fateful evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the frogs began their haunting chorus, James William Smith was seen walking into the dense thicket of the swamp. A sense of unease spread through the town, for no one had ever ventured that deep into the treacherous wilderness. Curiosity, however, got the better of a brave few who decided to follow him. The swamp was a labyrinth of gnarled trees and murky waters, a place where the moonlight could barely penetrate. The group, guided by the strange, soft hum that emanated from James, ventured deeper and deeper into the heart of darkness. Their flashlights revealed glimpses of eerie, glowing fungi and strange, ancient symbols etched into the trees. As they pressed on, a ghostly apparition appeared before them, its pale, translucent form floating just above the water's surface. The air grew colder, and a feeling of dread enveloped them. The ghostly figure pointed towards James and then melted into the darkness. The group turned to look at James, who was now standing near a massive, twisted tree covered in the strange symbols. With an otherworldly smile, he began to chant in a language that none of them could understand. The ground beneath their feet quaked, and the ancient tree came to life, its branches reaching out to ensnare the intruders. Panic erupted as the group desperately tried to break free, but the cursed tree seemed to be an extension of James's will. It whispered secrets and tales of the swamp, and its branches tightened their grip, squeezing the life out of them. Just when all hope seemed lost, a brilliant flash of lightning lit up the night sky, revealing a figure that Willowbrook had long forgotten. A woman, wrapped in a shroud of ghostly light, emerged from the depths of the swamp. She sang an enchanting melody, and the curse that bound the tree was shattered. The trapped souls were released, and the tree crumbled to dust. The woman's radiant form reached out to James, and as they touched, he let out a piercing scream that echoed through the swamp. In an instant, the darkness swallowed them both. The next morning, the town of Willowbrook awoke to find James William Smith's house empty, with no trace of the cursed man. The town had changed that night, and the whispers of the supernatural ceased. Yet, the legend of James William Smith, the man with milky white eyes, continued to haunt the memories of the townsfolk, a story of a cursed life intertwined with the eerie beauty of the Florida swamp. Story number 2. New York City, the city that never sleeps, where the bustling streets and towering skyscrapers often drown out the whispers of the supernatural. But in the heart of the metropolis, there existed an old, forgotten building that was said to be cursed. And it was in this building that Liam David, a skeptical journalist, found himself entangled in a chilling tale that would haunt him for the rest of his days. Liam had always been a rational man, scoffing at the stories of ghosts and apparitions that others told. He had built a career debunking paranormal phenomena, but little did he know that his disbelief would soon be shattered. It all began when a colleague informed him of a peculiar assignment. Liam's phone buzzed with a text message from Sarah, a fellow journalist. Sarah: "Hey Liam, have you heard of the old Drake building in Lower Manhattan? Rumor has it, it's haunted." Liam couldn't help but smirk at the message. Haunted buildings, he thought. Nothing but superstition and exaggeration. But he couldn't resist the allure of a new story. He agreed to investigate the old Drake building for his next piece. Arriving at the building, Liam couldn't deny its eerie presence. It loomed over him with an oppressive weight, the windows boarded up and the facade worn by time and neglect. The door creaked ominously as he pushed it open, revealing a dimly lit interior filled with dust and decay. As Liam explored the building, strange things began to occur. Whispers echoed in the empty hallways, and shadows danced in the corners of his vision. He dismissed them as mere tricks of the mind, a result of the building's eerie atmosphere. But the occurrences escalated. One night, while Liam was hunched over his laptop in a makeshift office, he heard a chilling voice calling his name. "Liam," it whispered. He froze, his heart pounding in his chest. He knew he was alone in the building, but the voice seemed to come from right behind him. Liam spun around, but there was no one there. He searched every corner of the room, his flashlight trembling in his hand, but found nothing. He brushed it off as exhaustion and stress, but he couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched. The haunting became relentless. Objects moved on their own, and Liam would wake in the middle of the night to find his belongings rearranged. He started to see apparitions, figures that flickered in and out of existence. Their eyes held an otherworldly sadness, and they beckoned him with outstretched, withered hands. The once skeptical journalist now felt his sanity slipping away. He began to research the history of the Drake building and discovered a dark past. It had been a hospital in the late 1800s, notorious for its cruel treatments and high mortality rate. Patients had suffered unimaginable torment within its walls. Liam's investigation into the building's history only fueled the paranormal activity. It was as if the spirits of the past were angered by his intrusion. He realized he had to confront the haunting and put an end to it. Liam sought the help of a local psychic, Eleanor, who had experience with cleansing haunted locations. She agreed to accompany him to the Drake building and was immediately struck by the oppressive aura that clung to the place. Together, they ventured deeper into the building, confronting the spirits one by one. Eleanor communicated with them, offering solace and closure. As the spirits finally found peace, the atmosphere in the building began to lighten, and the malevolent presence slowly faded away. Liam's skepticism was shattered as he witnessed the supernatural being laid to rest. He couldn't deny the reality of the paranormal any longer. He had been changed by his experiences, humbled by the knowledge that there were forces beyond his understanding. The haunted Drake building was no longer a place of fear, but it left a lasting mark on Liam David. He continued to write, not to debunk the supernatural, but to document it and give voice to those who had been wronged in life. He knew that sometimes the most haunting tales were the ones that left an indelible mark on the living. Liam had found an unexpected purpose in the world of the paranormal, and the city that never sleeps had revealed its hidden, chilling secrets. New York City may have been a bustling metropolis, but within its depths, the ghosts of the past still whispered their stories to those who dared to listen. Story number 3. In the heart of the bustling city of Washington, Daniel and Ethan found themselves on a dimly lit street late one chilling autumn evening. The leaves rustled beneath their footsteps, creating an eerie symphony that sent shivers down their spines. They had always been drawn to the mysterious and the unexplained, seeking the thrill of the unknown. Little did they know, on this fateful night, their curiosity would lead them to a terrifying encounter that would haunt them for the rest of their lives. The wind howled as they stood before the old, decrepit mansion at the end of the street. Its crumbling facade and broken windows told the tale of abandonment and decay. Rumors had it that the house was cursed, its previous inhabitants vanishing without a trace. Daniel and Ethan, fueled by their shared curiosity, decided to investigate. The front door creaked open with a haunting groan, as if the house itself was welcoming them. They cautiously stepped inside, the dim light of their flashlights casting eerie shadows on the decaying wallpaper. Dust motes danced through the air as they ventured deeper into the mansion. As they explored room after room, they couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Unexplained noises echoed through the house, and the air grew colder with each passing moment. Suddenly, the door to the basement flew open, revealing a pitch-black void. Daniel and Ethan exchanged nervous glances but pressed on. Descending the rickety stairs into the basement, they were met with a sight that would haunt their dreams forever. In the center of the room lay an ancient Ouija board, surrounded by candles that flickered ominously. The atmosphere was suffused with an otherworldly presence, and an insidious whispering filled the air. Despite their trepidation, they decided to engage with the board. Placing their trembling fingers on the planchette, they asked, "Is there anyone here?" The planchette moved slowly, spelling out a name, Elizabeth. A chill ran down their spines as they realized that they had made contact with a spirit. Elizabeth, it seemed, was trapped in this house. She began to communicate, telling them a harrowing story of how she had been murdered by her own husband, who had hidden her body within the walls of the mansion. The room grew colder, and the candles flickered violently as if protesting against the tale being revealed. Daniel and Ethan were determined to help Elizabeth find peace, but they soon realized that there was another malevolent presence in the house. A sinister shadow emerged from the darkness, its red eyes piercing through the gloom. It hissed and snarled, declaring its intent to keep them in the house forever. The entity's icy grip tightened around them, making it difficult to breathe. It seemed intent on preventing them from helping Elizabeth. Panicked and desperate, they made a run for the stairs, but the entity pursued them relentlessly. As they reached the main floor, they could hear the entity's sinister laughter echoing behind them. They burst through the front door, gasping for breath, and slammed it shut behind them. The malevolent entity was trapped inside the house, its maddening laughter reverberating through the night. They had narrowly escaped the clutches of something beyond their understanding. As they caught their breath, they noticed the first light of dawn breaking on the horizon. The once dark street now appeared peaceful, and the malevolent entity seemed contained within the cursed mansion. Daniel and Ethan vowed never to return to that haunted place, knowing that they had crossed paths with an evil force they could never comprehend. Years passed, but the memory of that night in the haunted house still haunted Daniel and Ethan. They could never explain what they had encountered, and the scars it left on their souls remained forever. They had ventured into the unknown, seeking the thrill of the mysterious, but had come face to face with something truly horrifying. The cursed mansion in Washington still stood, its secrets hidden within its crumbling walls, and the malevolent entity, bound to that house, continued to torment anyone who dared to enter. The story of Daniel and Ethan's terrifying encounter would serve as a grim warning to those who were drawn to the inexplicable, a reminder that some mysteries should remain unsolved and some horrors left undisturbed. That wraps up our journey into the world of the unknown and unsettling. If you've enjoyed these true scary stories, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and share it with your fellow thrill seekers. And of course, if you have a scary story of your own, feel free to share it in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious, stay vigilant, and stay safe in the dark corners of the world. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.